What's up, traders? Are you looking to see where the ES and the Nasdaq might be headed this week? Well, today we're going to do an analysis, a top-down analysis, and we're going to find some lower time frame zones, areas, and entry points for these zones. So let's get into it. So the first thing I want to notice on the ES is we have a very strong weekly time frame. This is the beginning of the year. This is where we are right now. So at the moment, we are currently up about 18% on the ES. This is a very strong year this year. Now that I zoom in a bit, I do see we created a weekly imbalance right on this candle with this lower wick and this lower wick. So I see we created the weekly imbalance that we held this week. So now that I found a weekly zone that I wanted to watch, let's look in the daily and the lower time frames. So now that I have the daily time frame, I could mark out that we do have a swing low right here in this weekly imbalance. So this is our low. This is our previous week low, and we're going to mark this out as very important. This will be our sell side liquidity. And now I'm going to mark out our buy side liquidity as well, which our buy side liquidity is at new all-time high. So we do have to remember the market has been much stronger. So there's our buy side liquidity. Now that we have our zones and some levels on the daily time frame and the weekly, we can now knock it down to the 4-hour, 2-hour, and 1-hour. Now, of course, you could also use the 6-hour, the 3-hour. I have all these zones mapped out just to sort of spot to see if I find any supply or demand zones. Now, I see on the 2-hour time frame, I should say, we have a basing candle right here with a small body, long upper wick. So that means at some point buyers were active and ended up trapped because we pulled back lower and had a very strong move lower. So sellers had control at this point, leaving an imbalance or a lot of unfilled orders in this 58.09 to 58.19 range. So I am looking for sellers to step back in when we get that Monday market open. So, maybe we'll get a push from here, and I want to see if we could sweep this sell side liquidity and hit this 2-hour demand zone that has been unused, right? So think of at this point, we would be making lower highs, which is bearish, but we would be making a quick sweep of this low. So a lot of people might have the mindset of, okay, we're pushing lower, unknown to them that we have a lot of support right underneath. We still have that weekly imbalance that we're hitting. We have a 2-hour demand zone. And we also had a 1-hour imbalance that we ended up holding the first time. So we see an imbalance as in a fair value gap. So we have a 1-hour fair value gap right here. And we ended up holding this once, almost 3 times. So this was a very strong level. This zone, this 57.25 is very strong on ES. And that's also why I want to see if sellers could sweep these lows right here and then trap a bunch of sellers, right? So we always look for us to trap sellers before we could continue higher. We look to trap buyers before we could continue lower. So now that we have some zones and levels on the ES, let's check out the Nasdaq. Now, taking a look at the Nasdaq weekly, and I get the same impression. It's been a very strong year. The buyers have been up, bulls have been strong, the dips have been bought, but there's one thing different, right? So the Nasdaq has failed to break a new all-time high. So that's what this SMT.H, that's smart money trading, which is the divergence, and the H stands for high. So I'm really looking for us to break this 21,214 on trading views on Nasdaq, right? So I'm looking for that break to completely get rid of this divergence. But for now, the ES is above that high. So right now, the ES is stronger than the Nasdaq due to the fact that it is above those recent highs. So something I am going to look out for is this level right here on the Nasdaq, 20,538, and we'll see why in just a minute. So just like the ES, we did have a weekly imbalance, and we did hold that weekly imbalance this past week. Now coming to the daily time frame, again, we have those lower wicks in that weekly imbalance. We swept this recent low right here, and we held. Buyers are still strong, and we are making our way back to the top of the range. Now, the reason this is such an important level, this 20,538, is because we also have this daily imbalance lining up there as well that also held as support in the past. So because it held as support, we see now it held as resistance. I want to see if the market wants to give us the same type of impression, right? So I want to see if we could fail to break above these highs or break the highs and fail and reverse back lower, because we have to think if retail is jumping into a long position once we break X level, well, maybe we should be looking to go into a short position, right? Because we always want to short when others are looking to go long when others are looking to go short. So now that we have our daily range, which would bring us to about 19,900, 19,875, to the highs about, I would say to play it safe, 20,375, right up here on the Nasdaq, because we really didn't hit the top of this range too much. So now let's check out maybe a 2-hour time frame where it looks like I have a 90-minute supply zone right here. So we have a basing candle, long upper wick. We have a nice impulse move lower, showing us that selling pressure was very strong in this level. So because of that, and because this is also that previous day high, I will be looking to see if sellers want to step in on Monday around this 20,638. I'm sorry, 20,263. So that's a level that I would look to see if sellers want to step in into this supply zone, right? So a lot of people thinking we're breaking that previous day high, we must be going higher, when a lot of times when we break a previous day high or low, we end up reversing. We broke this low right here, we reversed. We broke this previous day high right here and we reversed. So again, maybe we'll want to take out that previous day high and pull back. We do have to note the daily time frame has been a lot stronger though on the Nasdaq and the ES just this past Friday, especially after we consolidated here. So I am still looking for bulls. I'm looking for buyers or longs to continue if we're not hitting these supply zones. And that's how I'm going to be looking to trade the Nasdaq and ES this week, guys. Take care. I'll catch you guys Monday and Friday on YouTube. Catch me trading these zones and these levels live. Go over some Q&A. Go over whatever we want to look at in chart. See you guys later. Happy trading. Hit that like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon. Take care.